Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we are finally, very late, giving you our most played games of the past year. Back on July 23rd, we hit our 6th year anniversary for the channel, and every year I always recap what games I've played the most over the past year of the channel. So we're going to get down to that now. Some quick details about that. Like I said, the anniversary is July 23rd, so this list runs from July 23rd, 2019 to July 22nd, 2020. Also on this list we're going to be doing 15 games this year, and some of those games are going to be featured in the giveaway, which I'll be talking about later on during this video, so be sure to stay tuned for that and see exactly all the details of that. I do want to say, in this giveaway, there are items that have been very generously provided by Succubus Publishing, Board Game Co., Power to the Meeple, Chip Theory Games, and Sami Laakso himself. So be sure to check that out. It's hidden somewhere in the video. I'm sure you'll be able to find it, and you'll be able to see exactly what sort of games you're getting there. Now, each of the items being given away is featured on this list. So when one of those items shows up, just to kind of whet your appetite, there will be this sound to let you know that that game in some form or fashion is featured in the giveaway. So be sure to check that out. Now, I do want to mention my sponsor, Board Game Co., which is my sponsor for all of my videos. They are a fantastic website where you can buy, sell, and trade games. They have a great selection of games for you to choose from if you're looking to buy games to build out your collection, or if you're looking to sell games, they will take those off your hands and pay you some cold hard cash for them. Well, they probably won't give you actual cash. You know what I'm saying. And then, of course, they have a great trade feature where they will link directly into your Board Game Geek account. They, assuming you have one, you don't have to have one for the trade feature, but this tool that they have is really cool. If you do have a Board Game Geek account, they'll link right into it. They'll see what games you have for trade, what games you want in trade. They'll compare that to their stock of games, and then they'll build a list right there on the website for you to use to propose a trade with them. So be sure to check that out. If you do, click on the link in the description below so they know that I sent you over there. Board Game Co. makes it easy to buy, sell, and trade your way into a better collection. Okay, so without anything else, let's get right into the list. 15 minutes starts right now. Okay, number 15 is This War of Mine with 4 plays. Now, This War of Mine is basically a simulation of if you're not a soldier, you're not a warrior, you are a civilian stuck in the middle between at least 2 warring factions in some city. You don't want any part of this fight. You are just trying to survive as a regular person in the middle of this fight. You got to go scavenge for food, water, heat, things to burn, but then you also need books and cigarettes and alcohol and stuff to help boost morale just a little bit to get you through this horrific situation that you found yourself in. There's a bunch of little blurbs of story that add to the thematic atmosphere of this game. This War of Mine is really an incredible experience, and I highly recommend it. That's 4 plays of This War of Mine. Next up is Midara, Unintentional Malum, Act 1. Now, Acts 2 and 3 have but finished up on a Kickstarter. This is a massive campaign game. A massive campaign game where you are basically trying to work your way through this 500+ page storybook that's got your campaign scenarios in it as well. But that storybook, it's like playing through a fantasy novel. This is such a cool game. There are no preset classes in the game. You are actually able to build your classes from the ground up however you see fit. There's, this guy doesn't have to be a priest. This guy doesn't have to be a tank. You can make the tank be the small little person, and the I don't know, the rogue be the giant massive guy. However you want to do it, you figure it out on your own. That is Midara. Number 13 is Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. I will never, ever, ever teach somebody Gloomhaven using Gloomhaven. I will always teach them Gloomhaven using Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, because it has created this streamlined version of the rules. It has 5 scenarios, 5 tutorial scenarios to teach specific rules as you go along. And then after that, you've got another 20-something scenarios to play. Such a great value in this game. New classes that were not in the original Gloomhaven that completely compatible. You can use the new classes in Gloomhaven or bring classes from Gloomhaven over to Jaws of the Lion. It is, for those of you that don't know what it is, it's completely card driven in terms of how actions work, how combat works, all that stuff. And it's basically a dungeon scenario game. It's not really a dungeon crawler. It's more of a, you have individual dungeon scenarios that you play through. Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, 4 plays, number 13. Unbroken at number 12 with 5 plays. Got another 3-way tie coming up here. This is the first one. Unbroken is a solo-only game where your party has been wiped out. You're the only one that's left, and you're not doing so hot either right now. You have no weapons, you got no armor, and you don't even have any treasure. That's the whole reason you were in the dungeon in the first place. And now you've got to try to get out just so that you can survive to fight another day. Maybe you'll find some weapons along the way, or really you'll actually fashion some weapons along the way. Maybe you'll find some armor. Maybe you'll find some treasure, but you got to get out of this dungeon. You got to find food along the way too. You're gonna be fighting, I believe, 4 different bosses to finally get out. Maybe you can sneak past the boss, but if you do that, you're not going to get the loot that they are going to drop, and that loot could be the difference between life and death for you. Number 12 is Unbroken. Number 11 is Scythe with 5 plays. What a gorgeous game this is, with you have mechs and workers and your leader, and all of this is used for an area control game. If you have the Rise of Fenris expansion, you have a campaign game on your hands. So many cool factions in here. It is a slower paced game than it looks like it might be, but it is a lot of fun to think through what you're doing. Think through, is it going to be worth it to fight my opponent here, or should I maybe try to move around them and cut them off? Or by cutting them off, am I pushing them too much to where they're going to end up trying to attack me? These are all things that you're going to consider, because in Scythe, fighting, generally speaking, is costly for both sides. And so then, is fighting, yeah, you might take out your enemy in that particular territory, but then what's that mean for your other opponents that are nearby? Are they going to seize that opportunity to now make a move on you? Scythe, my number 11 with 5 plays. Number 10 with 5 plays is Planet. Planet is, you have this planet core that's basically a giant D12, and it's magnetic, and then you have these other magnet pieces that are terrain, and the whole point is to build your planet. It's you're drafting these tile pieces as you go along, and you're building your planet, and you're doing that with the intention of trying to attract certain animals that are laid out on the board. Then on top of that, you have a secret card that's going to give you points based on the number of a particular terrain type that you have on your planet. So you're keeping all that in mind as you build it, and then the person with the most points at the end of the game ends up winning. That's Planet, my number 10 with 5 plays. Number 9 is Pax Trans Humanity with 6 plays. And, excuse me, Pax Trans Humanity with 6 plays. This is a kind of a cousin to Pax Emancipation. You can see a lot of similarities here. 2 different designers. Matt Eklund did Transhumanity. Phil Eklund did Emancipation. So there's some similarities in how it plays, but they also depart from each other quite a bit as well. Transhumanity, it's all about the economy of the near future, with all these really cool near future technologies and stuff. I mean, you're dealing with nanobots, you're dealing with, cybernetic implants, all this kind of stuff, trying to basically secure the most victory points. I can't remember if it represents something else. Very, very crunchy game, very dense to get into, but I found that with most Eklund games, whether it's Phil or Matt, once you get past that learning curve, it was worth the learn. That was number 9. Number 8 is Hostage Negotiator with 7 plays. You got another 3-way tie here. Hostage Negotiator being the first one. This is another solo-only game. I think this is the first year I've had 2 solo-only games on the list. Hostage Negotiator has you rolling dice and playing cards to simulate a hostage negotiator speaking with the hostage taker and trying to get him to release some hostages, trying to prevent him from killing hostages. Your goal is to save as many hostages as possible and hopefully negotiate the surrender of the hostage taker, or possibly end up giving the order to take him out if the opportunity arises. With Hostage Negotiator, there is at least 1 expansion, and I know there's a campaign in there as well, not in the base game, but with the expansion. And so this is a great, great game with a lot of replayability. You have 3 hostage takers in the base game, lots of other ones you can get through that expansion as well. Number 8 with 7 plays. Number 7 with 7 plays is Tapestry. This is a Civilization-looking game where you have a board in the center where it has like some area control stuff going on, and there's 4 different Civilization tracks, which is, I believe, tech, science, warfare, and agriculture maybe. And then you have your own board as well where you're kind of putting buildings down there, even though that board is more about you're just basically trying to complete rows and columns. And the whole thing here is just collect victory points. Yeah, there's that Civilization theme on top, but this is all about getting these victory points as you run your score track marker around the board. I really enjoyed this one. I love the look of it. I just don't go into it thinking that you've got yourself a Civilization game like Through the Ages. This is much more of a just straight Euro game with a cool Civilization theme on top. Number 6 is Azul with 7 plays as well. Azul is a tile. Basically, you've got these beautiful ceramic tiles in the center of the board. You're taking them and trying to build out a mosaic on your personal board. If you take too many, some tiles you can't use, you're going to end up having some breakage, and that's going to cost you points. And those negative points start to add up quick if you're not careful. As you're playing, the first person to complete a horizontal row doesn't win the game, ends the game, and then you score up all your points. Lots of ways to score points in this game. There are also at least 2 sister versions of Azul out there, so be sure to check those out as well. They have some variations on the rules. This is just regular Azul, though, with 7 plays. Cloudspire is my number 5. Cloudspire is a gorgeous production with neoprene mats for the board, heavy-duty poker chips for your player characters, and you've got a solo campaign, you've got a cooperative way to play, you've got a competitive way to play. So many options for how to play Cloudspire. Now, it is a game where you've got to go into it being willing to deal with the fact that there are so many special powers in this game. But they give you a player sheet with your player powers on there. Easy to reference, but like I said, a ton of stuff going on here. I love it. I think it's great. And my Mac is getting ready to die. This is not working out, y'all. Hold on. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Okay. So that was Cloudspire. Great game. Number 4 is Chica Piglets. This is a straight up kids game, but we played enough to make the list. 11 plays. It's a memory game where the standard way to play it is cooperatively. And you've got all these face down animals in the center of the board. You're trying to match 2 of the type specifically that you're looking at, because you're trying to splice these 2 animals together like you do. And so maybe you get a giraffe and a lion, splice them together, and then you score some points. And you're moving around the board, first one to the, or whether it's the players working together to get to the end of the track, or the game, which I believe it's a cow that gets in the track. First one to do that wins the game. There's also the bad thing to flip over are poop tiles. There's little, you flip it over and it shows your Chica piglet slipping in a pile of poo. So my kids think that's hilarious. Every now and then my middle kid will decide that she's the traitor and she starts trying to find the poop. So there's that. Chica Piglets is my number 4 with 11 plays. Number 3 is Dale of Merchants. Now this, for me, I have Dale of Merchants 1, 2, 3, and the collection. So many options there for playing because you only use a few of the factions. Each one of those comes with about 5 or 6 factions. You only use a few of the factions per game. And you basically create a deck of cards based on the number of players. That's how you decide how many factions to use. And it's a set collection game. You're trying to build out your stall. You need 8 stalls or 8 stacks in your stall to win the game. All the cards have all kinds of different abilities on them. If you get the Dale of Merchants collection box, it gives you like stats for the different factions, so you know how nasty a faction is, how interactive it is, how difficult it is to learn, or how complex I should say. So lots of cool things, lots of cool options there for you with Dale of Merchants. Hey everybody, okay, so before we get to the top 2 games, I just want to talk a little bit more about the giveaway, how you can enter, and what exactly is going on there. How to enter is easy. There's a link in the description below. Click on that and it'll take you to the entry form. The way the contest will work is it's going to run for about 4 weeks, so there'll be an actual end date in that entry form as well. And then we have 5 different bundles to give away, and so I will draw 5 winners. The first winner will get to choose from any of the 5 bundles. The second winner will get to choose from one of the 4 that's left over, and we'll keep going like that. So exactly what are we giving away? Well, Dale of Merchants, you just heard the sound go off for that. Dale of Merchants, you're going to get to choose any one of the Dale of Merchants games. Dale of Merchants 1, 2, or 3. Not collection. 1, 2. Dale of Merchants 1, 2, or 3 is available to you. And that has been very generously provided by the designer himself. So that is great. Thank you very much. Then we have Cloudspire, which is also including the Grige and Portal Seekers expansions, generously donated by Chip Theory Games. That is a really great package there as well. And then we have Hostage Negotiator with the Crime Wave expansion, generously provided by Power to the Meeple, which is a great website you should go check out. Then we have Scythe, which I'm actually going to be providing Scythe. That is my copy. I've played through the Rise of Fenris campaign. I think for now I am kind of done with Scythe, and I wanted to supply something to this giveaway as well. So with Scythe, you'll have Rise of Fenris. Like I said, it's been played through, so it's opened. You know, I'm not going to go through trying to get all of the pieces back in their appropriate places because I've kind of have my own organization going on there. You will have a foam core insert, however, that comes with it, and so that will help with all of that organization. Then we have Unbroken, provided by Board Game Co., my fantastic, generous sponsor for all of my videos. Board Game Co. is giving a brand new copy of Unbroken for this giveaway. And then we have Midara, which is being provided by Succubus Publishing. They have offered up an entire Wave 1 bundle, and there should be a graphic popping up right now, I believe. Hopefully, that's going to show you what that Wave 1 bundle is. Very generous from Succubus. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to the last 2 games. Number 2 is Tainted Grill, my number 13. Very, very interesting combat system and diplomacy system in this game. All card play, very little luck involved there other than the drawing of the cards. But as you level up in the game, you're constantly adjusting your deck, getting new cards for the deck. Then you have special powers. This takes place in like a dystopian version of the Arthurian legend, where Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table took their people to Avalon, and it was covered in this stuff called the weirdness, and they beat the weirdness back. They killed the people that were there originally, apparently, and Arthur and his people took over the area. But now, this is several hundred years later, Arthur is obviously dead. The Knights of the Round Table are in disarray. and the weirdness is coming back, and you are like the third, fourth string heroes. You're not a hero at all. You're a nobody, and it's your job now to try to save the day. And finally, my number one is Kingdom Death Monster with 23 plays over the past year. Kingdom Death Monster is such an amazing experience. I'm getting ready to start up a new campaign here pretty soon. Absolutely love this game. Can't get enough of it. I just always want to play more and more and more of Kingdom Death Monster. I have to pull myself back so that I can get some plays in of these other games. It's such an incredible experience as you're building up your settlement in this world of complete darkness. All you have are lanterns. Then you go out and you fight these horrific monsters, and then you harvest these monsters for parts to build weapons, to build armor, and then one of the nemesis monsters shows up and just beats your ass back into the ground unless you prepared properly, and then maybe you have a shot at beating him. That's my time. Kingdom Death Monster is an incredibly expensive game. I was lucky enough to get my copy through the Kickstarter, which there was a significantly discounted price at that time. If you have an opportunity to play it, I highly recommend it, and then if you like it, buy it, because it is absolutely worth it. If it's a game you like, there's no other game out there like it. Completely unique, all on its own. Kingdom Death Monster. Y'all, that, believe it or not, was the third time I filmed this video. I've been having all kinds of technical problems, so hopefully it worked out this time. I'm not gonna film it a fourth time. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Get into that giveaway. So many good games. Again, Midara, Unbroken, Scythe, Hostage Negotiator, Cloudspire, Dell of Merchants. So many good options. Get into that giveaway right away. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.